Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Charlie, and let's try Not for Broadcast. This is a very interesting little game, and we're probably going to get speech blocked a little bit here because there's going to be a lot of in-game dialogue, as you'll soon see. So what is Not for Broadcast? It puts you in the editor's booth, if you will, for a news station, or a television station, I guess. And we start out as the cleaning guy, like the janitor, but we go in there and we get a phone call from the guy who's supposed to be doing the job, and he's like, hey, I can't make it in, so, you should do this. It's really easy. I'll walk you through it. And we basically get to determine how the broadcast is. Now, some of you guys might know, I have been a media producer for over 10 years, and I've worked in a lot of different environments, and a television studio is something I have very little bit of experience in, at least more than none anyway. I've never worked in an editing booth before, but I have been in the room and I've seen the process, and I've also played just a little bit of the game to get a feel for it. So let's just go ahead and hit new game here, and we're going to put a name for this, and I'm going to say Let's Try is a nice game for it, or a nice name for it. Now, we're going to start this, and we're going to get a phone call from the guy. He's going to be walking us through all the different controls and stuff, so I might be talking a little bit less than I would normally talk in a game that's like this, but or in a video series, but we'll go through things, and I'll try to add additional context if necessary. So let's go ahead and hit start. Now, normally, we would have a director telling us a lot of the things that we're going to be making the decisions for. Things like ready camera one, go camera one, things like that. But in this game, we kind of make all those directorial decisions ourselves. So we're going to answer the phone in a second, but I wanted to go through some of the stuff so you can see it. He's going to walk through it too. This is the regular broadcast screen as it's going to... as it is live. This is live right here. This is our control screen, and it's got about a 2-second delay on it. And then we have 4 different camera angles that we can work with, as well as control of the feeds. We got a sensor button here, which I'm not sure when or how we'll use that, so we'll see. We also have different knobs. We can turn up what we hear. This is our monitor, so this is not what the broadcast hears. That's controlled independently. Then we've got signal strength, temperature, assuming electrical signals, I don't know. I don't know exactly what this does. I guess that's signal strength. And looks to me like tape slots here too. So let's turn to the left, turn to the right, and we're going to take the call from this guy.
Hi, David, I have a call for you. I'm just putting it through. All right, mate. Dave here. Listen, I know you've only come in to clean up the place, but I've got a bit caught up, so you're going to have to run the news tonight. Now, don't worry, it's not hard, and I'm going to stay on the phone and help you. First, I'm going to give you a quick tour of the broadcast room, so if you're not doing it already, look forwards towards all those screens. Right, look up at the top. That coloured bar is your audience. You want to keep the viewers going up and not down. Underneath that, you've got the screens. The one on the right is the broadcast screen. That's what the viewers are seeing at home. It's only a couple of seconds behind the master screen there in the middle. That's the one you control. Now, the 4 small screens on the left show the different signals coming from the studio, and you can choose between them using the numbered buttons on the vision mixer at the bottom left. Don't worry, I'll talk you through it and you'll pick it up in no time. Now, have a look to your left. These plugs control everything in the studio. I've left them set up for you, so provided you haven't fiddled with them,
vision
all you
mixer,
have to do
okay.
now is throw the master trip switch and we're in business. Once you've got the power on, face the front again.
Oh, interesting. Down is on and up is off. Okay.
You can see on the broadcast screen
Turn the fan on if I want to.
titles for the show before us. Fortunately, they go on for fucking ages, so there's plenty of time for me to explain. Right, okay, they're over, so we haven't got long left till the broadcast. Right, quickly, mate, look down under the desk.
Coming up later on tonight.
You can see a load of videotapes on the left. They're your adverts. Pick any 3 and load them into the machines.
Crazy Neil.
When you've done that, look up to the front again.
Pre-Christmas crazy comfy chair sale. Okay. Come to Bumley. Sounds fine. And let's do exercise with ham sleeves. Fine. Whoops. Put that in there. There we go.
You should be getting a signal from the studio soon.
Multiple award-winning movie,
When you get the signal, select screen 1 with the vision mixer and we're ready to go.
Prawn and
There we go.
TV makes me
So I can use 1, 2, 3, and 4 on the keyboard to switch camera angles as well.
every day. You offer me prawns every day.
10 seconds, everybody. That's how I should.
Now, like I said, we're gonna get a bit of speech blocked here. There's a lot of talking that goes on. So
But now, it's time to join
here we go.
Good evening. I'm Jeremy Donaldson. Our main stories tonight.
Okay,
Moving on
we're
up.
all good.
The election
Next
win
is going to be
that
to throw
said
the
just
news
pretty
titles
happy.
on screen 2.
Hopeful or
There'll be a
hostile.
countdown, but I'll count you in as well.
Controversy
Just
over
relax,
global
mate. It's all gravy.
Buys Honest Andy's Totally Independent and corners the flowered market. Top chat. Sports fans everywhere.
So you can see the
celebrate as
delay
popular
between the two
footballer
screens here.
Johnny Hams leaves.
And this is my
When
monitor,
sports
so I can turn this up
personalities
anytime I want to here.
and a spoonful of sugar. And Megan will be chatting with movie star
See?
Lawrence Bunderclatch about his new
It gets a little bit
movie,
crazy to hear both, but
And, of course,
this is one of the reasons I don't have a problem monitoring myself when I'm recording. Like right now, I hear myself in my headphones because of this stuff. So experiencing this stuff.
2, 1. Lovely, mate.
All right, we switched to 2.
Next thing is to throw back to Jeremy with button 1 when that globe in the middle shrinks down and vanishes.
Such a cheesy graphic, man. All right, so viewership is going up, and as long as we're creating a compelling television in the editing room, we'll maintain growth in our viewership, I guess. So let's rock and roll with it. The globe is gonna...
Switch to screen
This-
1 now. Lovely, mate.
The votes are in, and it's a decisive win for advance. The landslide.
Listen, mate, we often get a bit of interference around this time of night.
Okay, so we need to move this.
Right, you can move that white dot up and down, avoiding the interference using the yellow knob or your scroll wheel.
I have no idea if this... I feel like this isn't quite how that worked before as far as realism goes, but I've never had to deal with any of this or see any of this before, so that must be like just a problem they used to have
It's going well.
when it
All
was
you've got to do now
olden
is
days or
play the
something.
advert at the end of the segment. Make sure you don't play it too early or we'll all get fired. Now the clock at the top is counting you down to the advert. When it reaches 0, press one of the 3 play ad buttons over
Yep.
there at the bottom.
Will do.
I normally play the first one at the first break and so on, but you can play them in any order you want. I'll count you into it as well, but keep your eye on the clock.
We'll be going live to Advance HQ to hear the co-leader's acceptance speech.
And 3,
That's all coming
2,
up.
1, advert.
1 minute back, everybody. Jeremy.
Nice.
Fill after the ads.
What? Why?
Wanker Snatch is running late.
Oh.
I thought I'd ask him about the election.
Personally, I wouldn't try to confuse him with any big words.
That's the same policy we use with you. I thought that was our little secret. It's all right, he doesn't remember anything I tell him.
I'm deeply uncomfortable with your burgeoning friendship.
Love you too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the ad happening here.
Mate, it's the first ad break. You're doing great, mate. But this is where it starts getting a bit trickier. This next sequence is what we call a multicam sequence, because you're going to be cutting.
Looks like we got a censor button here too, so
It's interesting. A lot of it's down to personal taste, but here's 3 good rules of thumb. 1, try and keep
Stay on
the
who's
shot of
talking.
whoever is doing the talking. 2, don't stay on the same shot for too long. 10 seconds at the most. So if you're on the person who's talking, try and throw in the odd reaction shot or pull out to the wide shot for a bit just to keep it interesting. 3, don't stay on reaction shots for too long. A couple of seconds is usually enough. Then the audience want to see who's doing the talking, yeah? Stick to these rules and you'll be fine. It's not as complicated as it sounds. You've seen programs on television, haven't you? Make it look like those. Might as well get screen 1 selected now.
He doesn't.
No need to wait for the
He's so
rules to
angry.
start. Try and stay ahead, mate.
Look at him. He's so angry.
From the break. Quiet in the studio. Thank you.
All right, we'll
so
switch
much.
to Jeremy here.
10 seconds, everybody.
All right, I'm gonna kill. I shouldn't kill the broadcast. You should hear this, but
4, 3.
it might be confusing. It might be hard for you guys to do that, but we
Welcome
should
back
hear them
to
both at the
National
same time.
Nightly News. Welcome back. Later, we'll be hearing from shock election winners Advance.
Probably about
But
here.
first
Get
off,
ready to go to
political
Megan on
reporter
screen
Megan
4.
Wolf is here with a star of both stage and screen. Megan?
Thank you, Jeremy. Megan Wolf, culture correspondent. And today I have a guest who starred in everything from Shakespeare
Right,
to
go
the
to
shop
Blunderclatch
films.
on screen 3 when she says his name.
By none other than Lawrence Blunderclatch. Thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, my dear, I do hope you believe me when I tell you. I do hope that being with you here today is a moment
Switch to 2 for the wide now.
May I say, having you here with us is among ours.
Right, now just try and stay on whoever's talking.
Your latest movie, which is called The Medicated.
The medicated, yes.
Wow, what was that like?
Well, as I said to Peter, the rat.
So I'm gonna be a little bit autopilot here.
Megan's reaction, lovely. Now back to Thunder Twat.
I've worked with him on several movies.
Thunder Twat.
I said to Peter, what a wild ride this has been.
Oh, I missed that. Damn, that's bad.
I really meant that.
I have to focus
That is fantastic.
because I have to see all these screens and
Am I right
yeah.
in saying that the character you play in this movie is quite an academic one?
Absolutely right. A scientist. Absolutely
Was that a
right.
challenge at all?
What exactly are you implying? But seriously, yes, you're right. It was a
I got a reaction at least. That was
from my
nice.
last starring role when I played
So you
Sergeant
kind of want to watch
Rockman
these
in
screens
Black Man.
and find a way to mix them together in real time to make it interesting. And you can control pacing with cuts. This is what we kind of do in any type of video editing. You control the pacing and the experience that people will get based on how quickly you cut and when you cut, right? So it's about control of the presentation to give you entertainment, right?
Those three little
And so staying on a shot for too long slows the pace down. Your perceived pace is slowed down. So we want to, if we don't want to have it be, yeah, I'm getting speech blocked. It's hard to talk over this.
like you,
It's really hard to talk over this, guys. I'm sorry.
cut me, and I will bleed. And often, that's how it feels, doesn't it? Doesn't it? Bleeding, doesn't it? Giving, suffering for one's.
This guy's all full of himself.
I suppose in the end, I do it for the difference. I do it for the people that I inspire. The little people. But most of all, I think I do it for the positive change that I can bring about in the world.
And today, of course, we're in for some real change, it looks like, in the coming few months.
It's like,
What do you make of this
kinda surreal.
historic election result?
Oh, well. Well, now you're asking. Historic election result. Indeed. Historic is the word. Well, indeed. Historic. Difficult, isn't it? Very difficult. But, I think I've always been quite clear that when it comes to politics,
hit the wrong button. I'm trying to do it with my fingers instead of the mouse.
strive not fuck things up.
Shit, he swore.
Oh shit. Oh, I'm supposed to censor that.
Sorry, I said fuck.
Okay, don't panic. I'll explain how to deal with swearing at the break.
Medicated, which opens
So I probably need to censor it, yeah.
Swap the shot of Jeremy on screen 1 for a VT of the movie clip. You'll get a countdown on the screen, but I'll just let Megan cue you in.
My character, Dr. Lodz Hemlock, is faced with a decision that could affect humanity's very survival.
exciting stuff. Let's take a look. Exciting stuff.
I think I cut her off there. My bad. I got this wee sound in my ear and it was like weird. So interference is going to be a thing while this is happening. I'm going to kill this so I only hear 1 feed of this. And then we've got all this happening too.
I'd love to hear what he's saying, but don't switch to it now.
It's so chaotic.
When the broadcast's done, we keep everything.
We keep everything. We got to see what they're talking about, you know? So this is like, it might be hard to make videos for this a little bit for me because we've got potentially 1, 2, if they're talking at the same time, 3, and then his voice, 4. So then me adding myself to it is 5 voices at once. It's a little bit too much, but I'm kind of hoping that maybe after the first broadcast, we don't get like a phone call from this guy anymore.
Drowning, Lance, you said.
You need to see this.
No, it's all too late.
Look at this!
And he said we keep everything, so that leads me to believe that we can watch it later.
Sterility.
And like he said, don't worry, we keep everything, so we can go back and look at that stuff.
This is the key.
So I definitely want to do that.
At the end of the clip, you'll want to play another ad. Remember to use the clock at the top to count you in.
If we should.
So hopefully we can watch the other broadcasts and maybe even get a look at the rushes too. It'd be cool.
Right, I guess I better explain how to deal with bleeping out swear words. As you've probably probably noticed, the broadcast screen here
Yeah.
is about 2 seconds behind the master screen here. When someone says a naughty word, the bleep button lights up. Like
Yeah.
this. 2
Yep.
seconds later, you'll hear that swear word going out on the broadcast, and you need to hold down the bleep button or the space
Let's
bar
not
on your keyboard
add any more
for
voices
as
if we don't
long
have
as the
to.
swear word lasts. It can take a bit of practice getting
Okay,
used
so
to
it's
hearing
space bar
2
hits
things at
that.
once.
Good.
Just stay calm and you'll get it. And if you can't tell when to bleep, just above the button, you'll literally be able to see the sound scrolling by. All you gotta do is hold it down while the red bit is over the red line. Simple.
Gotcha.
Of course, if you do it by eye, you'll have to take your eye off the screen.
Yeah, no, we're gonna be
That's
doing it by
why real
ear.
Professionals do it by ear.
We're going to be doing it by
Most
ear for
people
sure.
like to have the volume of the
I gotta
broadcast
have
screen
to.
a little bit below the master screen. Let's set it now. As you turn it up, you'll hear the advert getting louder.
Yeah, I think I'll probably keep it right here. Maybe right here, but I think probably right here is going to be where I set it up.
It takes a little practice, but I'll try and help you through it, and soon we'll have you bleeping like a pro. Remember, button lights up, count 1,
2, hold it down.
hold it down.
Yep.
Only 85 minutes from the coast, and with more than 2 areas of outstanding.
Okay, so what we're going to want to do is get a signal.
Remember to select
Yep,
screen
there we
one
go.
now that you've got the feed.
So this is ad B. We'll probably play ad C next. That makes sense.
You can use the number buttons on your
And a
keyboard.
lawyer and a
1 to
TV
4.
personality running the country. Seriously?
We've had worse. 5, 4.
All right, this is where it's going to start getting even more wild because we're going to hear both of these at the same time, right?
Welcome back. And I'm told we can now go live to Advanced Headquarters, where the two leaders, Peter Clement and Julia Salisbury, are about to make their acceptance address.
Shit, he's pissed.
Shall I start?
Go
for it, Pat. Shall I start? Okay.
Go for it,
Well,
Pat.
thank you all for coming, and, well, thank you all where do I start? Well, what a day.
They said we couldn't do it.
They certainly did.
They used every dirty, low-down, lying southern bastard trick they had against us. But you, the people, you saw right through their shite.
I'm sorry about the language there.
Sorry about that. I've had a couple of celebrating. Sorry about that. I've had a couple of celebrating. Coarser than the Granny's Fanny. Coarser than the
Memorably
Granny's Fanny.
put.
Fanny, really?
But to be honest, who can blame Peter for celebrating?
Fanny
Who can blame
is a swear word, really?
You've heard us
Come on
say
now.
that advance are not
I guess what is this, like the 1960s or something?
A party is what you have when things are going well. When the country is suffering, you don't need a party. You need a team. A team that can change things. But today is day one of a new future. A better, fairer future. So perhaps we should all be celebrating.
Except for the rich. For them, the party's over. They shouldn't be celebrating. They should be putting their shitting pants on and opening their dusty checkbooks.
Again, but not inaccurate. Before we came out here to address the nation, we used our executive powers to pass the
Assets and Wealth Act.
Working with the tax office, we have produced a definitive list of every person in the country with wealth into the millions.
You know this sort of, probably you rather you don't. Because the likes of you and me are not welcome in their gated communities.
Tomorrow we will be introducing a sweeping reform of the tax system in this country. No more hiding wealth offshore, no more trust funds or creative accounting. A simpler, fairer, unavoidable set of tax laws.
So all you bastard public school snobs have got nowhere to hide. And earlier today, we revoked your passports. You want them back? You want to leave like you threatened before the election? That's fine. But first, you're going to pay up. You're going to pay it back.
Advance are going to turn this country from a nation of warring individuals into
Like, I don't even... The problem with this right now is, like, I want to know what they're talking about, but I'm so focused on camera angles and his bleeps
Billions
that
you'll see
I'm not really following the story.
That's absolute ferret shite. So to you posh twats,
the people who pay you a pittance to serve them drinks in their private clubs, the people whose children you raise.
So they've got time to get even fucking richer.
Advance have this to say to you.
I did it too early.
We are coming for your sports
Yeah.
cars and your mansions and your vineyards.
It ends today.
We will put the wealth of this country back where it should have always been, in the hands of the people who created it.
It ends today.
Yes, it ends today. And tomorrow, we'll start making it fair again. Just like we promised.
What are they talking about?
And until then, ladies and gents, I suggest we all get pissed.
I can't argue with that. Thank you for your time.
Looks like we got interference happening.
Interesting acceptance speech there. Interesting acceptance speech.
And we're up in the interference. Oh my God, that's intense.
Hopefully we got that bleeped out for you in time. If not, someone's going to be in trouble. If not,
I did, right? I mean, I bleeped once extra, but other than that, we were pretty good. I think we did all right. Look at the green bar at the top. Look at this. It's full up. It's nice.
I'm Jeremy Donaldson.
2, 1, and add. That's really gratifying.
Ferry's about to leave. Probably won't be coming back. Job's yours, mate. Good luck.
Ferry's about to leave. Probably won't be coming back.
Fever dream. Am I dying now or something?
You should be so lucky. I'll see you tomorrow night.
Not coming for a drink?
No, got a date.
Lucky you. Try not to get murdered.
Broadcast complete. Look at this. So A+, A+. And the last sequence, we ended up getting a B. I think it's because I bleeped one extra time, but, you know, it is what it is. We got an A on the first one. That's nice. Outstanding censoring. Okay. Interference-free and lovely editing. Okay. Cool. We got 250 funds earned. Total funds, 250. So let's take a look. Oh. Oh, we get to see the rushes. Cool.
That way you can see what you did and how it looked to the public. As you can see, there's 3 sections to the archive. Broadcasts, that's what you've put out. Rushes, which is all the stuff that was on all the screens. And adverts, which is any advert that you've chosen to show. So let's have a look at the broadcasts.
Let's take a look at the broadcast. Hit this.
On the left, you can see all the broadcasts that you've done. You can also get to hear from the main menu if you don't actually want to do a broadcast, you just want to see some of your past work.
Gotcha.
Select any of those and click load tape. Why not watch what you just did? When you're done, hit back.
Okay, so that's going to take up a lot of the video. I think maybe for this video only, we'll go back and watch the whole thing because that was kind of chaos, right? And we want to see what the whole thing is. I don't know if that's something people want to watch over again. I kind of do. So this one time I'll do it. And then if you guys would rather me put those in like their own separate unlisted videos in the description, we can do that. Or if you want the full broadcast incorporated into the regular main video, we can do that instead. Because there's going to be ads and stuff going through there. And I think probably the ads are probably got some humor to them too, because a lot of the stuff is humorous. So I'm going to load the tape. We're going to play it this video. But if you're like, you know what, that's cool watching the past broadcast the way you did it, that's cool. But I think we'd rather just have it be separate, and then we could do it that way if you want to. So let's just go ahead. I'm going to get out of the way and watch this.
Well, in a few moments, we'll be going live to tonight's National Nightly News. But before that, let's take a look at what's coming up later on tonight on Channel 1. At 7 o'clock, it's the semi-final of the quotation game, and it's a nail-biting quiz tonight as a team of nuclear physicists take on 4 old ladies from East Grinching. That's followed at 8 p.m. by award-winning documentary series The Shape of Now, which tonight looks at the history of the knee-length sock and its importance during the Great Blackouts of 1871. Not one to miss. At 9 p.m, sit back and relax with multiple award-winning movie The Freedom of Being Colin, taking us all the way up to 11:15, where, as usual, Dr. Adrian Atkinson-Blimey will be grilling his guests in Incisors, and tonight sees a return for leading economist Katie Brightman. Finally, at midnight, it's the National Weather Report, before we say good night until tomorrow. But now, it's time to join Jeremy Donaldson for the National Nightly News.
Good evening, I'm Jeremy Donaldson. Our main stories tonight. Moving on up, the election win that experts said just couldn't happen. Hopeful or hostile? Controversy as global mega corporation Remington's Fist buys Honest Andy's Totally Independent and corners the flowered market. Top chat. Sports fans everywhere celebrate as popular footballer Johnny Hamsleeves wins Sports Personality of the Year. And a spoonful of sugar. Meghan will be chatting with movie star Lawrence Blunderclatch about his new movie, The Medicated. And, of course, we'll be going live to Advance headquarters to hear what the leaders of this fledgling party have to say on their historic victory. That's all coming up on tonight's National Nightly News. But first, the votes are in and it's a decisive win for Advance. The landslide victory, with an astonishing 81% of the popular vote, is the biggest election win in living memory. Advance appealed to voters up and down the country with their bold promises of permanent change, but critics have accused him of a severe lack of actual policies and of being deliberately vague. The opposition parties have all conceded defeat to Advance's overwhelming mandate, but have yet to appear publicly. However, former Home Secretary Geoffrey Jeffreys has issued a statement in which he comments that "We have all been seduced by the shiny wrapping paper, but have yet to see the contents of the box." Sounds like sour grapes to me, Jeff. After the break, Megan Wolf will be speaking to a man whose grapes certainly aren't sour, the international heartthrob and inexplicable box office sensation that is Lawrence Blunderclatch. And later in the programme, we'll be going live to Advance HQ to hear the co-leader's acceptance speech. That's all coming up after the break.
Welcome to Crazy Neil's crazy pre-Christmas sofa and chair deals. It's a steal with Crazy Neil. We don't care if you've been naughty or nice. We got green sofas, red sofas, brown cushions, pink cushions. You've got a grey sofa. We've got a great sofa. In a grey, a brown, a pink, a yellow, a purple. Neil's deals are unreal. You've got people coming over at Christmas. You've got an aunt. She's going to leave a stain on the sofa. You don't want her sitting on this white sofa. She's going to have to sit on the dark sofa. This is a deal with Neil Appeal. You want to throw your money at us. We'll give you a leather sofa for a price that is just crazy. If you've got lightning striking, then strike whilst the lightning is hot. You've got a disused sofa. We don't care if it's smelly, stuck in front of your telly, full of welly. We'll take that shit away. Don't make a meal out of it, make a deal out of it. We got a big ass deal on a big ass chair. We've got white chairs, blue chairs, stools, inflatable chairs. This is a crazy deal with Neil Appeal. You don't want no lame ass chair, you want a great chair. We had a man come down the other day and he brought in his young daughter and he wanted her to have the best chair. We got those chairs, we got more of those chairs. We got tall chairs, chairs on wheels, wheelchairs. We got chairs for twins, chairs made out of steel, chairs that are a steal and a deal. We got those chairs. You want crazy? We got crazy. Crazy Neil's got crazy deals. You want a toilet? We can do you a toilet. We can do you a toilet next to a chair. We can do you a chair next to a toilet. Hell, we can even do you a toilet chair. So you come on down, you bring your ass, we've got it, you want it. You want it, we've got it, you want it. You pay us. You want it, we've got it, you want it. You want it, we've got it, you pay us.
Welcome back to the National Nightly News. Later we'll be hearing from shock election winners Advance, but first our very own culture reporter Megan Wolf is here with a star of both stage and screen. Megan?
Thank you, Jeremy. Megan Wolf, culture correspondent. And today I have a guest who starred in everything from Shakespeare to the Shotbot films. I'm very excited to be joined today by none other than Lawrence Blunderclatch. Thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, my dear. I do hope you believe me when I tell you that being with you here today is among the greatest joys of my life.
May I say, having you here with us is among ours.
Bless you.
So you've just finished filming your latest movie, which is called The Medicated.
The Medicated, yes.
Wow, what was that like?
Well, as I said to Peter at the Wrap, that's Peter Jensen, the director. Do you know him? He's a wonderful chap, he really is. I've worked with him on several movies, all terribly successful. I said to Peter, what a wild ride this has been. And do you know what, Megan? I really meant that.
Wow, that is fantastic. And am I right in saying that the character you play in this movie is quite an academic one?
Absolutely right. A scientist.
Was that a challenge at all?
What exactly are you implying? But seriously, yes, you're right. It was a complete departure from my last starring role when I played Sergeant Brock Rockman in Bullet Man. You'll remember that that was the true story of one soldier's fight for a love that surpasses all others. A love, of course, for freedom. I think it's grossed over $1 billion, but honestly, who's counting?
It's a role that saw you scoop 2 Best Actor awards, if I remember correctly.
It's so sweet of you to mention it, but I really am not in it for the awards, although those 3 little statues do take pride of place on my mantelpiece.
With all the others, I'm sure. So, if you're not doing it for the awards, what is it then that drives you?
Oh, that is a beautiful question, Megan, and not easy to answer. Like you, I'm afraid. Cut me, and I will bleed. And often, that's how it feels, doesn't it? Doesn't it? Bleeding, giving, suffering for one's audience. I suppose in the end, I do it for the difference it makes. I do it for the people that I inspire, the little people. But most of all, I think I do it for the positive change that I can bring about in the world.
And today, of course, we're in for some real change, it looks like, in the coming few months. What do you make of this historic election result?
Oh, well. Well, now you're asking. Historic election result. Indeed, historic is the word. Well, it's difficult, isn't it? Very difficult. But I think I've always been quite clear that when it comes to politics, one should always strive to not fuck things up.
Yes, well...
Sorry, I said fuck.
No.
I'm
Well,
sorry.
Lawrence, I believe you brought in a clip from The Medicated, which opens next week around the country. Lawrence, do tell us what's going on here.
I'd be delighted. This is a really pivotal scene where my character, Dr. Lodz Hemlock, is faced with a decision that could affect humanity's very survival.
Exciting stuff. Let's take a look.
I don't understand it.
Doctor.
I don't understand it.
It's not your fault.
You think I don't know that?
No, Lance, we mustn't. Think of Carol.
It's Dr. Lance to you, Miss Flanagan.
Did it for you, baby. All for you.
Dr. Hemlock.
We're gonna change the world, you remember? Don't I listen to you?
Dr. Hemlock.
You told me, but I didn't listen.
Doctor.
I'm drowning, Lance, you said.
You need to see this.
No, it's all too late.
Look at this!
The virus. The sterility. This folder. This is the key.
We could stop it all.
Yes, we could stop it all. We have to ask ourselves if we should.
Where can you get warm, sandy beaches, clear waters, and fine dining? Well, we're not sure, but here in St Bumley on the Taint, we've got a big hill and the bus comes twice daily. Visit picturesque St Bumley this summer and experience a holiday that's simply unlike any other. Come and visit the abandoned Spade Factory. Your kids will love exploring the old production line in relative safety. Grab your tetanus shots and come down today. There's no gift shop, but feel free to grab an old handle from the skip out the back. Or why not indulge your cultured side and visit some of our sites of historic interest, like the parish church, currently the subject of a thrilling police investigation, the old market, home of the fairly big cabbage, or the hole. Hey, that's a nice hole. And after a long day exploring Bumley, you can relax in comfort in one of 2 communal tents. Or you could take advantage of our famous nightlife. There's a radio in the calf, or on Fridays we gather to watch tramps fight. Come on, Harold, you scruffy old meth head. Only 85 minutes from the coast, and with more than 2 areas of outstanding natural interest. Isn't it time your family went Bumley way? And hey, if you come in the dry season, we've got a car park. St Bumley, on the Taint, naturally.
Welcome back, and I'm told we can now go live to Advance Headquarters, where the 2 leaders, Peter Clement and Julia Salisbury are about to make their acceptance address.
Shall I start?
Go for it, Pet.
Okay, well, thank you all for coming, and, well, where do I start? What a day.
They said we couldn't do it.
They certainly did.
They used every dirty, low-down, lying southern trick they had against us, but you, the people, you saw right through their
I'm sorry about the language there.
Sorry about that. I've had a couple of celebratory pints. Makes me coarser than a granny's fat.
Memorably put. But to be honest, who can blame Peter for celebrating? Throughout the campaign, you've heard us say that Advance are not a political party. A party's what you have when things are going well. When the country is suffering, you don't need a party. You need a team. A team that can change things. But today is day one of a new future. A better, fairer future. So perhaps we should all be celebrating.
Except for the rich. For them, the party's over. They shouldn't be celebrating. They should be putting pants on and opening their dusty checkbooks.
Again, colourfully put, but not inaccurate. Before we came out here to address the nation, we used our executive powers to pass the Assets and Wealth Act. Working with the tax office, we have produced a definitive list of every person in the country with wealth into the millions.
You know the sort of... Probably you rather you don't. Because the likes of you and me are not welcome in their gated communities.
Tomorrow, we will be introducing a sweeping reform of the tax system in this country. No more hiding wealth offshore, no more trust funds or creative accounting. A simpler, fairer, unavoidable set of tax laws.
So, all you public school snobs have got nowhere to hide. And earlier today, we revoked your passports. You want them back? You want to leave like you threatened before the election? That's fine. But first, you're going to pay up. You're going to pay back.
Advance are going to turn this country from a nation of warring individuals into a team. To properly fund health and education. To raise the living standards of us all.
The pundits said we'd have to raise billions. But you'll see when we've reclaimed what's ours, that's absolute ferret. So to you posh...
The people who pay you a pittance to serve them drinks in their private clubs. The people whose children you raise.
So they've got to get even richer.
Advance have this to say to you.
It ends today.
We are coming for your sports cars and your mansions and your vineyards.
It ends today.
We will put the wealth of this country back where it should have always been. In the hands of the people who created it.
It ends today.
Yes, it ends today. And tomorrow, we'll start making it fair again. Just like we promised we would.
And until then, ladies and gents, I suggest we all get...
I can't argue with that. Thank you for your time.
Well, an interesting acceptance speech there from the leaders of Advance. And our apologies for the fruity language. Hopefully we got that bleeped out for you in time. If not, someone's going to be in trouble. So, as the country braces itself for new government, that's all from us this evening at the National Nightly News. We'll be back tomorrow with full coverage of the first day under Advance. I'm Jeremy Donaldson. Have a peaceful night.
I think I did a pretty good job on that. I think that's a pretty good thing, man.
Hi,
oh, let's watch this ad.
I'm world-class sporting legend Johnny Hamsleeves, and I'm not fat, but you are. Don't worry, ladies. Now you can have me, Johnny Hamsleeve, right there in your lounge.
Johnny!
Oh my God.
Happy day. Me and the lads are playing away.
I'll take you through a proper match day workout with my two cracking assistants. Who knows, within a few weeks, you could be as fit as them.
What a day. In the coach cruising down the motorway. Match day. Saturday. Finished with the handshakes and we're ready to play. In the
Did you know that fat people are less likely to laugh, marry, or live past the age of 26? These potentially true statistics are all terrifying reasons why you should pop a bit of Johnny in your VHS slot.
This is horrible. I'm just gonna say it. This is horrible.
Exercise is recommended by sports professionals and is 72% likely to get rid of those tricky tummies and cruel cellulite.
The happy clappy slidey.
With Johnny Hamsleys.
Wow. Wow. All right, I think I did a pretty good job on that broadcast, okay, despite my ad choices. Let's hit back.
Right, click on rushes and let's have a look at those.
Definitely want to look at the rushes.
Okay, these 4 screens, they're exactly the same as the 4 screens that feed you the studio signal when you're doing the actual news. Of course, the difference here is you can mute any screen you like or any combination of screens, and you can have a listen to what was going on behind the scenes. Just select any segment, that's any bit between ad breaks over on the left, and hit play. When you're done checking out the backstage secrets, hit back.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at the Blunderclatch interview here. I want to hear
These
what...
aren't my cards. Please tell me these aren't my cards.
No, they're the right ones, apparently.
Oh, but this gives me nothing, Jenny. They must see that.
I know. I think they think he won't have anything to say.
Oh, for God's sake, come on. It's a huge day. He's not an...
Absolute bonehead. I don't care, Rob. I'm not doing it. I agreed to do one beastly interview a day. I made that completely clear when we started. Check my contract.
Hi, I'm Megan.
Oh, piss off. You're on thin bloody ice, Rob. Whole wheat, man. Whole wheat.
We're coming back from the break. Quiet in the studio.
All of that is from
Thank you so much.
a sandwich.
10 seconds, everybody.
Such a drama
Going in
king.
5, 4, 3.
It's so loud,
Welcome
too.
back to the National Nightly News. Later, we'll be hearing from shock election winners Advance, but culture reporter
Wow,
Megan
you really
Wolf
only need one.
is here with a star of both stage and screen. Megan?
Thank you, Jeremy. Megan Wolf, culture correspondent. And today I have a guest who starred in everything.
We already saw
from
all this
Shakespeare
stuff. I want to
to
see
the
what happens
Shopbot
after
films.
that.
I'm very excited.
I
to
wish
be
you could
joined
fast
today
forward.
by none other than Lawrence Blunderclatch. Thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, my dear.
I'm going to see what happens. I'm going to skip ahead in the video cut-wise here and see what happens after the interview because they were
With us is among ours.
doing all sorts of talking there
So
afterwards.
you just finished filming your latest movie.
This is a really pivotal scene where my character, Dr. Lance Hemlock, is faced with a decision that could affect humanity's very survival.
Exciting stuff. Let's take a look.
And we're out.
Rob, get the car. We're out of here.
Mr. Blunderclatch.
No! I'm shutting this down. What kind of operation are you people running?
Mr. Blunderclatch, I understand you're upset, but we can...
Upset? You don't know the half of it. Rob! I'll be at the Dorset. Send up a bottle of scotch and a whole ham. It's in my contract.
It's in my contract. For a news interview? What?
I'm sorry. I just had to. I had to. Oh, go on then.
She wasn't
Say it.
supposed to ask him about the election.
Your hair looked nice.
See, this is why you're single.
Wow. Wow. That's awesome. That's awesome. I wonder if there's anything after the advanced acceptance. I'm wondering if there's anything like on the mics because this happens a lot where people wear their little lavalier mics on their shirts and stuff, and then even after they go off camera or before they go live, right? They'll have something.
Apparently, he's been drinking since lunchtime.
Christ, he's a liability in the best of times.
They'll say something off camera, right?
To bleep this.
And it's still
10
recording.
seconds, everybody.
I mean, a lawyer and a TV personality running the country. Seriously?
We've had worse. 5, 4, 3.
Yeah, so we can hear this now.
Welcome back. And I'm told we can now go live to Advance headquarters where the two leaders Peter Clement and Julia Salisbury are
But
about
this
to make
shouldn't-
their acceptance address.
We shouldn't be able to hear this. I muted this. We shouldn't be able to hear that.
Go for it, Pet.
Okay, well, thank you all for coming, and, well, where do I start? What a day.
Oh, here we go. I want to hear this.
It's green.
Teal.
Couple of celebratory pints makes me coarser.
So now we get to hear this,
Memorably put.
and we get to hear their feedback now.
But to be honest, who can blame Peter for celebrating? Throughout the campaign, you've heard us say that Advance are not a political party. A party's what you have when things are going well. When the country is suffering, you don't need a party. You need a team. A team that can change things.
Oh, not much.
But today is day one of a new future. So perhaps we should all be celebrating.
Except for the rich. For them, the party's over. They shouldn't be celebrating. They should be putting their shitting pants on and opening their dusty checkbooks.
Again, colourfully put, but not inaccurate. Before we came out here to address the nation, we used our executive powers to pass the Assets and Wealth Act. Working with the tax office, we have produced a definitive list of every person in the country with wealth into the millions.
You know the sort of, probably you rather you don't. Because the likes of you and me are not welcome in their gated communities.
Tomorrow, we will be introducing a sweeping reform of the tax system in this country. No more hiding wealth offshore, no more trust funds or creative accounting. A simpler, fairer, unavoidable set of tax laws.
So all you bastard public school snobs have got nowhere to hide. And earlier today, we revoked your passports.
Whoa, that is it.
You want to leave like you threatened before the election?
They're
That's
stopping
fine.
people moving.
But
That is
first,
outrageous.
you're going to pay up.
Whatever they
You're
are.
going to pay back.
Advance are going to turn this country from a nation of warring individuals into a team. To properly fund health and education. To raise the living standards of us all.
The pundits said we'd have to raise billions. But you'll see when we've reclaimed what's ours, that's absolute ferret shite. So to you posh twats.
The people who pay you a pittance to serve them drinks in their private clubs. The people whose children you raise.
So they've got time to get even fucking richer.
Advance have this to say to you.
It ends today.
We are coming for your sports cars and your mansions and your vineyards.
It ends today.
We will put
See
the
you
wealth
on the
of
other
this
side.
country back where it should have always
Yeah.
been. In the hands of the people who created it.
It ends today.
Yes, it ends today. And tomorrow, we'll start making it fair again. Just like we promised we would.
And until then, ladies and gents, I suggest we all get pissed.
I can't argue with that. Thank you for your time.
Well, an interesting acceptance speech there from the leaders of Advance. And our apologies for the fruity language. Hopefully we got that bleeped out for you in time.
Okay,
If
so
not,
I was hoping to get that. I was hoping that we could maybe hear some off-camera talking from them. That would have been cool. But just hearing like their feedback on it was kind of nifty too. Okay, I'm gonna hit back now, and we can also watch advertisements. These are the 3 ads. We already saw those in the broadcast when we watched the whole broadcast, so I'm not gonna bother with that. So we have either continue or save and quit, and I think this is a great place to end the video. So thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it. This is a very long video, so throughout this Let's Try, you're gonna see some time codes on the screen. If you wanted to skip certain elements, you absolutely could have done that. I'll put them in the description as well to make them easy, and maybe even in the pinned comment down below, just to make it abundantly clear that some of the longer, hey, let's sit back and watch things, you can avoid them and you can skip them if you'd like to. So anyway, thank you for watching. And if you'd like to see more of the game, please let me know that down below too. My name is Charlie, and this has been Not for Broadcast. We'll see you next time. Bye.